Welcome to the YouTube channel PCMB Tutorials. I hope you all are fine. Today we are going to learn class 9 physics chapter work, power, energy, and this is part 7. In previous parts we have learned everything about work. Today we will start with the power. Its introduction. The quantity of work has to be done with a force causing a displacement. Work has nothing to do with the amount of time in which this force acts to cause the displacement. Sometimes the work is done very quickly and at other times the work is done rather slowly. For example, a rock climber takes an abnormally long time to elevate his body up a few meters long along the side of a cliff. On the other hand, a trail hiker who selects the easier path up the mountain might elevate his body a few meters in a short time. The two people might do the same amount of work, yet the hiker does the work in considerably less time than the rock climber. The quantity which has to do with the rate at which the certain amount of work is done is known as the power. The hiker has a greater power rating than the rock climber. The power is the rate at which work is done. Rate at which work is done. Measurement of power. Now the measurement of power. The amount of power of a body depends upon the magnitude of the work and the time taken by the body. So by knowing the work and time, we can measure the power. The amount of power is the ratio of work and time. So power is equal to ratio of work and time. Means work upon time. P is equal to W upon T. This is the formula 1. Now the units of power. Units of power. The easiest unit of power is energy per second. And this is CGS. And SI unit of power is joule per second. The SI unit of power is watt. This joule per second is watt, so SI unit of power is also indirectly means watt. This watt is, if 1 joule of work is done in 1 second, then the power is said to be 1 watt. 1 watt is equal to 1 joule upon 1 second. There are some more bigger units of power. The bigger units of power are kilowatt and megawatt. Kilowatt is 1000 watt and megawatt is 10 raised to 6 watt. Fourth is practical unit of power. Also there is practical unit of power. The widely used practical unit of power is horsepower, which is important. horsepower HP. Horsepower. Horsepower. 1 horsepower, 1 HP, 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt, which is equal to 0.746 kilowatt. Now, what is this horsepower? Its introduction. Horsepower. The horsepower is the name of several non-metric units of power. In scientific discourse, the term horsepower is rarely used due to the existence of SI unit for power, the watt. There are two important factors to consider the evaluating a horsepower. The idea of horsepower persists as a legacy term in many languages, particularly in the automotive industry, for listing the maximum rate of power application of internal combustion energies. Definition of horsepower is defined as work done over time. The exact definition of 1 horsepower is 33,000 lb/ft minute. Put another way, if you were to lift 33,000 pounds to a height of 1 foot over a period of 1 minute, you would have been working at the rate of 1 horsepower. Now, again we will see a short story of never give up. Never give up. The story of the power of James Watt. James Watt was born on 19th January 1736 in Greenock, a seaport on the 5th of Clyde in Scotland. His father was a prosperous shipwright, ship owner and contractor, while his mother, Angus Moorhead, came from a disguised family and was well educated, but was a delicate child, attending school irregularly and instead mostly schooled at home by his mother. He exhibited great manual dexterity and aptitude for mathematics and observed the legends and lore of the Scottish people. When he was 17, his mother died and his father's fortunes had begun to fall. Watt travelled to London to study mathematical instrument making for a year, then returned to Scotland to Glasgow, intent on setting up his own instrument making business. However, because he had not served at least 7 years as an apprentice, the Glasgow Guild of Hammer Men blocked his application despite there being no other mathematical instrument makers in Scotland. Watt was saved from his impasse by the professors of the University of Glasgow, who offered him the opportunity to set up a small workshop within the university. It was established in 1757, and one of the professors, the physicist and chemist Joseph Black, became Watt's friend and mentor. 4 years after opening his shop, Watt began to experiment with steam after his friend, Professor Robinson, called his attention to it. At this point, Watt had still never seen an operating steam engine, but he tried constructing a model. It failed to work satisfactorily, but he continued his experiments and began to read everything about it. He independently discovered the importance of latent heat in understanding the engine, which was known to him, which Black and famously discovered some years before. He learned that the university owned a model Newcomen engine, but it was in London for repairs. Watt got the university to have it returned, and he made the repairs in 1763. It too just barely worked, and after much experimentation, he showed that about 80% of the heat of the steam was consumed in heating the cylinder because the steam in it was condensed by an injected steam of a cold water. His critical insight to allow this steam to condense in a separate chamber apart from the piston and to maintain the temperature of the cylinder at the same temperature as the injected steam came in 1765, and he soon had a working model. After a long struggle of trials and tribulations, finally 1776 the first engine was installed and working in commercial enterprises. These first engines were used for pumps and produced only reciprocating motion. Watt was a fellow of the Royal Society and Edinburgh in the Royal Society of London. He was a member of Batavian Society and one of the only 8 foreign associates of the French Academy of Sciences. The SI unit of power, the watt, is named after him. I hope you have understood till this. Now in part 8, we will learn all the different expressions to calculate the power. Again, there are total 5 expressions with all the formula and all, which we are going to learn in part 8. Till that, I hope you have understood this part 7. For any queries and doubt, please join the Telegram link given in the description of this video. Like, this is the foundation of class 9th. We have covered the foundation of class 8th and 7th too. The links are given in the description. Please go and check through it. I hope you have understood till this. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in part 8.